Hey, folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Just want to thank everybody that has subscribed to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. And if you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. You can catch me on social media, Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and join our Facebook group, Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you very much. So everyone has been wondering, where is Rachael Ellering? People have been asking me, do you have an update on Rachael Ellering? Do you have an update on Rachael Ellering? I haven't had an update on Rachael Ellering. I didn't have an update on Rachael Ellering until now. Rachael Ellering's profile has been removed from the Impact Wrestling page, roster page on their website. So I think it's safe to say that Rachael Ellering is no longer with Impact Wrestling. No official announcement has been made, but usually when your profile is removed from the Impact Wrestling roster page on their website, generally means that you're no longer with the promotion. We had Fallah Bob, Sam Beal, Hernandez, all were taken off the roster page. All their profiles were all taken off the roster page last week, and today Rachael Ellering, her profile was removed from the Impact Wrestling roster page. Also, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Pat. He actually clued me in on this, and I went to check it out, and lo and behold, Rachael Ellering is no longer on the Impact Wrestling roster page. So thanks a lot, Pat, for the update. But you have to think, what might have happened? What might have happened with Rachael Ellering? Why is she suddenly no longer with Impact Wrestling? Well, you can think of a few things. One, remember she got a little upset that the Impact Wrestling social media team on Twitter didn't wish her a happy birthday, and she made it known that she wasn't happy about that. And then Gail Kim got involved, and Gail Kim wasn't happy that Rachael Ellering wasn't happy at the social media team, and she stuck up for the social media team. So maybe something happened there. Maybe that was just one of many instances where Rachael Ellering got upset at something, and maybe just enough is enough. Again, this is all speculation on my. This is all speculation up here. That's so. Just so I don't have any inside information. It's all speculation. It's all speculation. And also, maybe like I said, maybe Gail Kim and her got into it or something. I mean, Rachael Ellering getting upset that they didn't wish her a happy birthday. I mean, and I think Gail Kim, she jumped in here. It was like an adult scolding a child, basically. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Another thing you think of, a possible reason why we don't see her on the why she appears not to be with Impact Wrestling anymore. Well, we've had Lady Frost added to the Knockouts roster. We had Masha Slamovich added to the Knockouts roster. Giselle Shaw is on her way to the Knockouts roster. I know there's interest in other wrestlers, possibly Roxy, Willow Nightingale. There are other wrestlers out there that are on that are on the Knockouts roster right now, or might be coming to the Knockouts roster. Maybe they're just trying to clear up some room. Rachael Ellering. I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest Rachael Ellering fan, and I'd much rather see a Lady Frost or a Masha Slamovich or Giselle Shaw. So maybe they just needed to make room for the new knockouts and future knockouts to come. That's another reason. Maybe her contract, maybe she had a short-term deal and her contract was up. She decided not to resign. I know she was on an independent show. I think over the weekend or next weekend. I know she's booked for an independent show. Actually, I think it's next weekend. I think it's West Coast Pro. I believe Rachael Ellering is, I could be mistaken, but I think that's the show she's on. So she's taking indie dates. So it's not COVID. She's taking indie dates. So it could be one of many reasons why we don't see Rachael Ellering anymore, or I should say why we're not going to see her anymore, and why she's been removed from the Impact Wrestling roster. Yeah, so that's the update on Rachael Ellering. She is her profile removed from the Impact Wrestling roster page, which generally means she's no longer part of the Impact Wrestling roster. Okay, so we have an update on Keith Lee. Actually, Keith Lee to AEW, according to Dave Meltzer. Keith Lee to AEW is probably a done deal. Let's read this here. Keith Lee is a free agent after his WWE non-compete clause expired on Wednesday, February 2nd, with many rumors swirling that he will end up in AEW. Per Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Keith Lee will reportedly be All Elite very soon. He spelled All Elite. No, he spelled ELEE, trying to be cute. Trying to be a cute play with words there from Dave Meltzer. Keith Lee, All Elite. Okay, so to Meltzer, that's per Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. Keith Lee will reportedly be All Elite very soon, as Meltzer noted that there have been talks between the two sides, and it's basically a done deal. So he said, and this is Dave Meltzer, I know they've been talking to Keith Lee. I know that they're pretty close with Keith Lee. It's not already done. If it's not, I know that they were pretty close with Keith Lee. If it's not already a done deal, it's probably a done deal. I don't know that officially, but that's kind of been the word getting around that it is a done deal. And there's widespread belief. There's another article here, widespread belief within AEW on Tony Khan's big signing. According to Fightful Select, they have spoken to numerous talent. Very surprisingly, none of those know who the free agent is going to be, but the identity of Tony Khan's big surprise is not confirmed. However, talent unanimously speculated that it will in fact be Keith Lee. As we know, there is at least one wrestler who was confused about the terminology of Forbidden Door, which led to the assumption that it was someone who recently and actively worked for another company. But many people backstage in AEW are given off the impression that Keith Lee is coming to AEW. That seems to be the general thinking at this time. So it's not going to be Josh Alexander. It's going to be Keith Lee. Keith Lee is going to be the free agent signing. Keith Lee is going to Isaiah Cassidy against Keith Lee will be taking place on AEW Dynamite. So Keith Lee will be I'm calling it. I think it's 100% now that Keith Lee will be the free agent signing. It's not going to be Josh Alexander. I know we were worried in Impact Wrestling Land that it was going to be Josh Alexander. It's not going to be Josh Alexander. It's going to be Keith Lee. 100% in my opinion. It's going to be Keith Lee. We'll see him on Wednesday, and that's it. And that's the update. I know MLW, they're going to announce another big match later tonight. I'm going to keep my eyes on that. I'll probably be back later with that big announcement for Super Fight. There's going to be a double main event. The first main event is Alex Hammerstone defending the MLW Heavyweight Championship against Davey Richards, and they announced it's going to be a double main event, and they're going to announce the second main event tonight. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for that as well. So thank you for joining me. Of course, like I said, I'll be watching the news, probably be back a little later tonight. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.